When the stage shine fades and the camera spotlight no longer dazzles, there is an unseen dynamic happening behind the scenes. The seemingly harmonious world of K-pop often hides tense stories that are barely revealed. This time, the public was shocked by a hot rumor that dragged two big names, Kim Taehyung, aka V from BTS, and Bang Si-hyuk, the figure behind the success of the HYBE agency. Is it true that Taehyung is challenging the big hit boss? What really happened behind the relationship that had previously seemed solid? This is a story that goes deeper than just rumors. Taehyung's name is not just a K-pop icon. He is a symbol of free artistic expression, the search for identity, and the courage to be different. Since the beginning of his career with BTS, the man known for his eccentric personality has attracted attention for his unusual vision, both in music and in visual art. But behind the calm smile and dreamy eyes, there is tension that slowly floats to the surface. The news that Taehyung has begun to conflict secretly with HYBE founder Bang Si-hyuk. What triggered it? Many suspect that differences in artistic vision were one of the roots of the conflict. Taehyung, who in several interviews stated that he wanted to explore jazz, soul music, and a more experimental visual style, reportedly felt constrained by the agency's policies that were too commercially market-oriented. Bang Si-hyuk, although known as a figure who supports creative freedom, certainly had great pressure to maintain the sustainability of the K-pop empire that he had built. The issue began to emerge when Taehyung released his darker and more personal solo work. The music video, with a symbolic narrative and music that was far from the traditional BTS color, raised questions. Was this a form of subtle resistance to the direction determined by the agency? An industry source who did not want to be named even said that several concepts that Taehyung proposed for his solo promotions were rejected by management because they were considered too niche and unmarketable. However, the most surprising thing was the news that Taehyung rejected several agendas designed directly by the HYBE executive team, including plans to collaborate with international brands that did not match his artistic values. This attitude, although not openly called a rebellion, gives a strong signal that there is tension that can no longer be ignored. The question is this really a form of Taehyung's challenge to Bang Si-hyuk? According to industry observers, what is happening is not just rebellion, but a shift in power. Taehyung, and perhaps the other BTS members, has grown into a figure with global influence who is able to negotiate his own path. In the Korean entertainment world, which has always been very hierarchical, this kind of position is an anomaly. And as with every structural shift, tension is inevitable. So far, neither HYBE nor Taehyung have made official statements regarding the issue. However, the public, especially ARMY, is starting to realize that there is a shift in dynamics between the two. Some fans even say that this is not a conflict, but rather an evolution. Taehyung is starting to open a path to become an independent artist within the corridor of the system that once raised him. Is this the beginning of a quiet revolution within HYBE? Or is it just a small ripple in an artist's long journey towards artistic independence? One thing is for sure, the world is watching more than just music. This is a new chapter in a real-life drama, where the courage to choose one's own path could be the most radical act a K-pop star has ever made. And Taehyung? He may not be challenging Bang Si-hyuk directly, but he is challenging the system itself. Folkies, and Taehyung? He may not be challenging Bang Si-hyuk directly, but he is challenging the system itself. The artist's lonely journey. In the long history of South Korea's entertainment industry, there have been few idols who have dared to step outside the lines drawn by their agencies. But Taehyung has never quite fit the mold. He's not just an idol with good looks and neat choreography. He's a free spirit who wants to speak to something deeper. On many occasions, Taehyung has expressed his longing for silence, for art that is not for the market, but for meaning. His personal projects, such as artistic photo shoots, the paintings he secretly exhibits, and the slow jazz music he plays in the middle of the night, all provide insight into the inner battle he is going through. Between being a product of the entertainment industry or being a full-fledged artist. Herein lies the silent conflict. Bang Si-hyuk, HYBE's visionary founder, is known as the figure who built BTS from scratch to become a global legend. But now, the Golden Boy is starting to choose his own path. This is not just about business. This is a battle between idealism and reality, between artistic values and industrial power. Subtle signals, implicit statements. Notice how Taehyung begins to insert symbolic messages in his every move. His posts on social media are often accompanied by ambiguous poetic captions, as if he wants to speak but doesn't want to make a scene. He appears at public events with a style that is increasingly different from his peers. Quieter, more elegant, more mysterious. Meanwhile, Bang Si-hyuk and HYBE seem to be trying to balance things out. They continue to support BTS members' solo promotions, including Taehyung, but the outline of the strategy still feels safe, as if they don't want to reveal any ideological conflict within. The public is made to believe that everything is fine. But discerning fans know this is more than just a difference in style. It's a push and pull. Silent tension. That's what makes this rumor all the more shocking. There's no open fight, no outright declaration. It's the silence that's making waves. In the world of Korean celebrity, when an artist suddenly goes into isolation, eschews corporate agendas, or speaks out on personal matters, it's a code. And this code, if read carefully, can be the most subtle form of resistance. Some fans have even begun to refer to this moment as Taehyung's coming of age. A phase where he's no longer just a member of the group, but a man who's picking up a paintbrush and starting to paint his own life, in the colors he chooses, not the ones he's been given. End or beginning. The question now is no longer whether Taehyung is truly challenging Bang Si-hyuk, but what will happen next? Will this pave the way for the rest of BTS to pursue more personal, independent paths? Or will it create even more friction within HYBE? What is clear is that Taehyung's courage to stand between commercial pressures and personal idealism is something to be commended. He wasn't fighting for drama. He was standing up for something bigger, an artist's right to determine their own destiny. And perhaps in the future, we will look back on this moment as the beginning of a silent revolution that changed the face of K-pop forever. When a revolution starts, not with shout, but with silence. Taehyung never shouted his discontent. He didn't explode in press conferences, didn't expose internal issues on live broadcasts, and didn't directly criticize anyone. But that's what made everything feel more serious. Because in a world full of sensation and excitement, silence can be the loudest statement. Look at how he positions himself in his solo promotions. No fanfare, no exaggeration. Even in interviews, he tends to answer with calm but meaningful sentences, as if conveying that he is no longer completely in the grip of the old system. He's no longer just Taehyung from BTS, but Kim Taehyung the individual, with a will, a voice, and a direction that no one, including Bang Si-hyuk, can map out. And this isn't just a matter of rebellion. It's a sign of maturity, of an artist who no longer wants to be defined by numbers, markets, or stressful schedules. Taehyung is rewriting his own definition of success. HYBE, BTS, and a future that's no longer uniform. This quiet conflict raises a big question. How will HYBE manage the new direction of the BTS members, especially as they increasingly seek to stand as independent entities? Admittedly, Bang Si-hyuk is a genius architect. He built BTS not just as a boy group, but as a global brand. But a brand can't survive if its members want to be more than just symbols. They want to be whole people, who sometimes have desires that are at odds with the system.